Well, guys, hopefully this is one of my older video cameras, so I'm hoping this sounds better. But I've basically been watching a few YouTube videos, and I kind of wanted to sort of make one myself and sort of give you guys the lowdown on it. For those of you who obviously have watched me for a long time since the beginning, I think this is my third year on the channel now. Obviously, I've just basically been commenting on Sunderland and how shite we are and all that malarkey everybody knows by now. But you know, I haven't really been as active recently. Like even last season, for about 2/3 of last season, I was making a good few videos. I was talking about Sunderland fairly regularly, and then towards the end of the season, I kind of tailed off a bit. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them, obviously, is my phone, which is almost completely knackered now. You know, that only allowed me to record for a couple of minutes until it ran out of storage space. And I have no idea how it managed to run out of storage space so quickly, but nevertheless, that's what happened. You know, so I didn't feel like I could express enough of my thoughts within 1.5 minutes. And then obviously I had my laptop camera, which to be honest is shocking. I don't blame people for saying that it's actually crap, because the sound quality is not very good at all. So this is a test run. I'm hoping this is going to be much better. So fingers crossed, this is going to be my platform, the way I do this for the future. And the other reason, and probably the bigger reason, is the fact that with Sunderland losing every week, and with the fact that we were getting beat off teams that, in my opinion, were much bigger off as clubs, although that doesn't guarantee you wins, obviously, and that on paper, and again, doesn't guarantee you wins, but I felt like we had the players to beat a lot of teams that we lost to. I grew tired of saying the same stuff over and over again. It was getting very repetitive. It probably sounded very pretentious. It sounded very arrogant of a fan in the Championship, you know. And obviously that's my first experience of the Championship. I've never been exposed to it before directly with Sunderland. I've watched maybe the odd game here and there prior to Sunderland dropping down, but I didn't pay that much attention to it. So I think I just grew tired of the same stuff over and over again. And basically the main problem was that I highlighted was that nothing was going to change until I was short left. I did make a video a few weeks ago sort of saying 5 things Stuart Donald and Charlie Methven would address. And obviously, you know, since that video, we've got a new manager. Or I think that might have been made roundabout. It was either not long before or just after we appointed Jack Ross. But either way, now we've got transfer window that's been firmly open, we've got a manager firmly in place, and we're going for targets. So I figured I would just try and have a bit of that was my sort of update thing. And then obviously just try and give my thoughts on the whole thing. And obviously the World Cup started. So, I mean, I'll give my quick opinion on the World Cup. I'm not as excited for it. And it kind of pains me to say that, because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on social media, a lot of people talking on TV about how they're excited and how geared up they are for the World Cup. And obviously it's a very prestigious international tournament. It's the biggest in the world. It's one that people really want to be a part of, either watching or playing. But, you know, I've just never ever found myself to be that excited about it. Now, the Tunisia game for England, I'm not going to be able to watch because I'll be at work. But the Panama game, the Panama game, I always get that name wrong. Panama game and the Belgium games, I have every intention of watching. But I mean, I will want England to win, obviously. But I just don't feel that same buzz and that same hype, that same anticipation, that same joy or despair that comes with, like, Sunderland, because Sunderland's my club, it's my team. And I don't feel that connection to England whatsoever in any capacity, because with the exception of Jordan Henderson, Jordan Pickford, I can't relate to any of those players. I can't look at those players on the pitch and sort of think, yeah, I like him, I like him, I like him, I like him. I can connect to him, you know, in somewhat personal ways, as much as you can as a fan without knowing them. But, you know, I don't connect with England. I want England to do well, of course I do. But if England were to win the World Cup, I'd be over it in a couple of days. Now, maybe that's just me in a minority that feels that way. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. There's probably people that are going to be like, would be buzzing for days afterwards, or weeks maybe, if England won the World Cup. I'd be more buzzing if Sunderland won League One, to be honest. But look, you know, let me know in the comments below what you think about the World Cup, because I'm personally not that hyped for it. But, you know, maybe when I'm watching it with a bunch of friends and watching an England game, I will be up for it. Of course I will be, but it won't be to anywhere near the same level that I was with Sunderland. Anyway, speaking of Sunderland, let's get back to them. Obviously, I did mention a few things in the last video about how you've got to change the culture of the club. You've got to get basically the big earners off the books. You've got to get players that with League One experience and the title-winning mentality of League One. So, as of this recording, you know, it's mid-June. Sunderland still have not made a signing yet, which I'm not going to lie. Although I do trust Donald, Methvin and Ross, I do have slight concerns at the fact we haven't signed anyone yet. I would like to have hoped that by this point we would have had at least 3 or 4 signings, about 4 or 5 at this point. I would have hoped we would have had near half a dozen signings by this stage. Because this is probably the biggest overhaul that Sunderland as a club have needed for a long time. You look at the majority of the playing staff. I mean, there was a rumour the other day that apart from Ethan Robson, nobody else was apparently overtly committed to staying to Sunderland. Now, for the likes of Asoro, Madjer, well, maybe not so much McNair, but Love, Honeyman, Gooch, and Watmore and all that. I don't know whether Watmore's in that category because obviously he's been injured, but for the rest of those players in that category, you know, I would be pretty furious with a lot of them because, and I would count Asoro in that, because Sunderland's given them the chance to burst onto the first team stage and actually really, you know, make themselves semi-known in football. For those players, I'd be furious, or at least very, very disappointed if they've wanted to leave. This is a project that we are going to want to go on. You know, we've got new owners, we've got new ambitions, we've got new ideas. You know, this is something that they've got to embrace for me. And if they haven't got the desire to do that, then quite frankly they can go. You know, because we need players that are going to be fully committed to the plan going forward. For those players, I am disappointed that they have not shown, you know, the appetite for it. The rest of them I couldn't give a toss about, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you look at just a few names. Kasri I can half understand because he's been frozen out under David Moyes, but obviously last season he didn't show any desire to want to be in the Championship, and it's a shame because I think he would have been a standout player in that league. You know, you look at Lamin Kone for 2 years, has not looked interested. Dillaboji, who's been shocking, but, you know, whatever. Aidan McGeady, you know, I'm not surprised. Catamol, not surprised. Ndong, not surprised. You know, a lot of them are players that have let us down. And you look at the players that, you know, say they don't fancy playing in League One, but the bottom line is it's down to a majority of them that were in League One. And it kind of brings my point that I don't like there's no loyalty in football, but hey, what can you do? It is crucial, however, that we do get high earners off the books and that we can sort of balance the ship a bit. I think we technically can afford not to do it, but I think we know very well that we are at least being sensible this time and actually wanting to go make sure we protect ourselves financially. Because before Short wiped off the debt, you know, that wasn't looking good. It was very much a dire situation we got ourselves and spent ourselves into. We don't want to do that again. And in some ways, this has been a massive second chance that we've been given here. So I would much rather wait and do it right, but at the same time, if by the end of the month we haven't made any significant progress in the transfer market, both in terms of incomings and outgoings, I would start to be very worried at that point, and I think we need to really start to speed up the process a bit. I mean, in terms of who I'd want to see Sunderland sign, I have absolutely no idea because I don't know much of League One. The only player I really know of that league is Marcus Maddison, and he's a player I actually would want because he's been one of the standout performers of League One over the last couple of years, and I think the deal he had with Peterborough last year was that if they didn't get promoted, they would transfer list him, and I think there was a rumour he's available at $2.5 million. For me, that's a deal Sunderland should be getting themselves all over because that's the type of player we need to a degree. The only issue is probably that he's got a really bad attitude. It's a question of whether we need that for the dressing room. So I can understand reservations of others for wanting to sign him for that reason. But I think with Marcus Maddison, if you're going to get someone like him, he's someone that is well known in League One, who's known to deliver in League One, and is someone who's got aspirations of being in the Championship. Because you've got to remember, Sunderland's aim, whether we achieve it or not, I mean, it'll be a huge underachievement if we don't get promoted, for me, regardless of the situation. But we've got a target getting promoted here, and if you're going to do that, you need a player that's going to actually be a cut above for the Championship as well, or maybe that's not the right word, but one that could cut it in the Championship, but certainly be a cut above for League One. Marcus Maddison, for me, fits that bill. Whether we achieve that or not, I don't know. Who knows? But we'll see. Look, guys, I'll love yous and leave yous there. This is just a sort of an update video, just talking about any old random shite. But, you know, hopefully, let me know how this works. If this doesn't work, then we'll have to think of something else. If it does, this is the platform that I'm going to use for the future. But it's been nice to actually talk, and hopefully I don't sound muffled every 5 minutes. Thanks, guys, and let's hope next time I talk that we've actually got something significant to talk about with Sunderland front. So, cheers. See you later.